The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. My name is Andy MacNeil. I'm your host. I'm here on weekdays to provide NHL projections, picks, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. Today is Thursday, January 25th. We are quickly approaching the NHL All-Star break. I mean, have you seen the schedule for next week? It's brutal. We've got 6 games on the NHL schedule: Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then the NHL breaks for 4 days. And by the time that the NHL returns to action, teams will have between 8 and 10 days off. So we should expect some wackiness when we return after the All-Star break. But we still got some shows to do. And today we're going to look at Wednesday's NHL games again, look ahead to Thursday's NHL games. This show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets, good old Canadian sportsbook that you can check out via the link in the description below. They offer some great odds on early NHL games, some really interesting markets as well when you talk about player props and game props. So check out NorthStar Bets for sure. And subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you have not already. Drop a like on the video. That also helps out a ton. But yeah, Jake, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I've been in football mode all day, writing Jake's takes. I won't give away my conference championship picks right here on the show, but the article will be live this afternoon, so please check it out if you're interested in football picks. But yeah, I haven't really been thinking about hockey this morning, but excited for this evening's big Patrick-Roy clash at the Bell Center. That should be fun.
You're gonna go down, like stand outside the hotel, try to get an autograph later, or
I've got a Patrick-Roy autograph picture somewhere around here, so I've already got that one covered. I don't need to stand out in the cold.
somewhere around here. Sounds like it's a very, very important piece of memorabilia that you don't even know where it is. Jeez.
I've never been a big put stuff on my walls kind of guy, so it's somewhere around here.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't talk shit because my favorite player growing up was Ray Bork. Should not be all that much of a surprise. And I actually misplaced an autographed Ray Bork 8x10, two autographed Ray Bork 8x10s for about 4 years. And I recently just found those along with some other players that I had, I don't know, put away somewhere. So yeah, I guess I know how it can happen. But yeah, let's get into the games here today for Thursday. Little bit to touch on. So if you watched Wednesday's show, you saw us kind of react live to the opening prices on the Montreal Canadiens. NorthStar Bets open with the Islanders at minus 122. And some offshore books open up with the Isles at minus 170. The Canadians, they were as high as plus 148. And for a minute, I thought, wow, that's I'm way off here. But looks like I was pretty bang on, to be honest. So the Islanders, they've moved down to the minus 130 range at a lot of the sharp market makers. Or sorry, minus 135-ish range, mind you. Let me just refresh here to make sure what I'm talking about is actually correct. They are, sorry. Minus 145. That's what I meant to say, not minus 135. They are in the minus 140, minus 145 range now. The Canadians around plus 125 at some sports books. I think the best price in market that you'll get is plus 130. Samuel Montembeault looks like he is going to start in goal for the Canadians against what looks like Semyon Varlamov, likely. He has been out since January 2nd due to a lower body injury, but he returned Tuesday, backed up Ilya Sorokin. He's expected to start Thursday versus Montreal. Nothing confirmed yet, but Samuel Montembeault has been confirmed. So, yeah, looking around here, should have locked the Canadians in on Wednesday's show because at this point, there is a plus 130 out there that is available. That would be about a half unit play for me. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to lock that in. We're not going to face Sorokin tonight. Varlamov's coming off a long layoff. I know the Habs have been bad. I think the Isles are a bad team as well. I think, frankly, too much has been made out of this coaching change, and I'm going to take the plus 130 that I see out there available uh, for a half unit, locking in the Montreal Canadiens at plus 130 to win 0.65 units. Um, yeah, so that'll be my first bet. I'm not sure. So, where do we see this one going? The New Jersey Devils. That is another one I'm considering. Of course, the Hurricanes, they held on for a 3-2 win over the Boston Bruins on Wednesday. Spencer Martin started in that game. So that means we will likely see Antti Ranta in tonight's game because Kochetkov and Anderson both still on the shelf. Ranta, he's posted an 867 save percentage, which is the worst in the NHL among goaltenders who have played at least 500 minutes. Fourth worst overall. He's posted the fourth worst mark in goals saved above expected, minus 10.5 goals saved above expected in 21 games this season. Forward Andre Palat will return to the Devils lineup on Thursday, so they are getting healthier. They got Meyer returning recently, now Palat. They're not going to be at the top of their game until Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton are back in the lineup here, but I think there's some value here at plus 140, so I am going to add the New Jersey Devils for a half unit at plus 140. So two small half unit plays. Plus 140 isn't as widely as available as I thought it was, but it is available at a couple of Canadian sports books. So yeah, locking that in for a half unit to win 0.7 units. Two dogs. The Canadians plus 130, the Devils plus 140. Both half unit plays. Oh, and circling back to the Islanders and Canadians game for a second, Bo Horvat, I didn't mention it on Wednesday's show, but he did leave Tuesday's game versus Vegas late in the third period after he was bloodied by a puck. He did not return in that game. I would expect Horvat to play on Thursday, though. No update on his status as of right now, but I would assume that he will be in the lineup. So, two bets for Thursday. And the only one left to really consider here is the Boston Bruins, who, I mean, look, Ottawa might look decent on paper. In fact, they might even look better than the Boston Bruins in some areas statistically. But their goaltending and defense is rotten, right? Jonas Corpusalo, he's going to be in goal, or at least he's expected to be in goal. Over the last month, the Senators, they rank second in expected goals per 60 minutes behind the Edmonton Oilers, but they're allowing the second most goals per 60 minutes behind the Blue Jackets during that stretch. So while the team is totally capable of generating offense, quality chances, etc., Boston has great goaltending to combat that, and the Senators seem to give up a lot of chances in order to create those chances of their own. So my model thinks that Boston should be a minus 144 favorite. And currently right now we're seeing the Senators down around the plus 110, plus 115 range, which means the Bruins are at minus 130 or minus 135. And minus 130, that is fairly tough. That's a really tough one to find. It is out there. But yeah, I mean, it's out there at enough sports books. It's out there at a couple of very prominent sports books. So just going to double check to make sure that is still available. And I will lock that in to win a half unit. Yeah, and it is. It's available at least a few prominent sports books. So another small play. This time I'm risking 0.65 units on the Boston Bruins at minus 130 to win a half unit. Nothing super exciting about today's slate. I think it's a pretty tough slate to find value in. And the odds, they haven't moved all that much since yesterday's show. So I think, we're picking off some prices here that have kind of shifted overnight. But other than that, my opinion hasn't really changed on what I think of these games here. So I am going to focus on a couple of player props. They're going to be both small quarter unit plays here. but I did want to, dive into something a little bit different for a change, just because we do have a little bit of extra time to kill. I do have one pick for Thursday that I want to talk about. But before we get into that, let's talk about Cole Sillinger. He is going to be in Calgary with the Blue Jackets on Thursday. The 20-year-old, he has just 8 goals in 41 games this season. He's got 5 goals and 6 points in his last 10 games, though. He leads the Blue Jackets in shots on goal during that stretch, thanks to a promotion to the team's top forward line and top power play unit. And I mean, I don't know if Sillinger is going to be a good NHLer or a great NHLer. He was drafted high, 12th overall. But for a kid who supposedly has a lot of pedigree, his father was an NHLer. He's never really stood out all that much. But opportunity is everything, and I think even a league average player is going to benefit from having his ice time shoot up the way Sillinger's has over the last month plus. Back in November, he was playing just 14 minutes per game. He plays almost 19 minutes per game now in the month of January, though. So his ice time has gone from 14 minutes in November to 16 minutes in December, now to almost 19 minutes per game in the month of January. His new line mates obviously possess a lot more skill than the players he was playing with earlier in the season. The Flames, they're as mediocre as they come. I believe the best price in market right now on a Sillinger anytime goal is plus 380. I don't know if that is available to me because that's at FanDuel, and I don't have that here. So I'm just going to double check what we have here for an anytime goal for Cole Sillinger. 380 best price in market, but I can get 380 elsewhere. So I'm going to lock in 380. It's available at a few books that everybody should have access to, regardless of what jurisdiction you're in. I would assume whether you're in Canada, there's one book that has this one at plus 380. So I'm going to lock it in for a quarter unit, and let's see if Cole can stick it to his ex Tate McRae in her hometown against her hometown team. I'm just kidding. That has nothing to do with this. Like I said, I don't think he's really a standout player or anything like that, but it's a great opportunity. Making he's making the most. I don't know if he's making the most of it, but he's making good on the opportunity. He is not just a passenger. He's generating shots here, playing with Johnny Gaudreau and playing on the top power play unit. So he's going to have his chances tonight, and I'm going to put a quarter unit on him at plus 380 to score an anytime goal. And I've got one more anytime goal scorer that I want to talk about. So yeah, that's 0.25 units to win, 0.95 units, almost a full unit if we can hit that Cole Sillinger anytime goal. And the other anytime goal scorer that I want to talk about, it is in the Flyers and Red Wings game. Joel Farabee, man, he's been hot. Farabee finished last season with 39 points in 82 games. 23 years old. He's been in the league for a few years now. Has been a pretty consistent scorer, hovering around that, between that 15, 20 goal mark. He did hit 20 goals once a couple of years ago. But he surpassed that 39 points in 82 games that he had last year already this season. In just 48 games, he had his 40th points against the Tampa Bay Lightning the other night. 3 away from matching his career high in goals, currently sitting at 17. He's got 5 goals, 9 points in his last 10 games. Farabee's playing on a line with Sean Couturier and Travis Konechny, some really good players, the top forward line. He also plays on the top power play unit, but we know how bad the power play has been for the Flyers. So Farabee hasn't carried over his even strength scoring over to the man advantage. But I think, with Owen Tippett currently out of the lineup, Farabee is the team's hottest shooter right now. Detroit ranks in the bottom 10 in shots and goals against this season. So players like Farabee could have an even easier time generating shots and scoring chances, which will hopefully lead to an anytime goal, which you can get at 2-1. So I'm just going to double check what the prices here on this one look like across the market. Yeah, you can get it at 2-1 pretty much, regardless of wherever you look. But NorthStar Bets actually has a really good price here, plus 220. So locking in Joel Farabee at plus 220 at NorthStar Bets, quarter unit to win 0.55 units, anytime goal scorer. Let's go Flyers. Let's go Farabee. So, a couple of player props in addition to my three small money line bets for Thursday. But yeah, let's look ahead to Friday's games a little bit here. We've got 4 games on Friday. The Vegas Golden Knights in New York taking on the Rangers, who continue to struggle. Vegas beat the Rangers up 5-1 on home ice last week, and now they're going to go for the rematch here, try to get another win over the Rangers. The Vegas Golden Knights, they are still very injured, but Aiden Hill, their starting goaltender, who was playing like one of the best goaltenders in the NHL and looked pretty good in his return against the Islanders earlier this week. He's back in the crease for the Vegas Golden Knights. Not sure if he will start for this one, but he's back. So there is a little bit of positivity around the Vegas Golden Knights injury situation right now, and that might just be enough to help them get the job done. I think the price is pretty much correct where it's at right now. So no bets in that one. Currently, NorthStar Bets has this game plus 138 on the Vegas Golden Knights side and minus 167, excuse me, on the New York Rangers side. Florida's in Pittsburgh taking on the Penguins on Friday, minus 110. Got to pick them price on each side. I think that is, that game is a coin flip. The Penguins, they're a good team, but they for whatever reason can't seem to get the job done as much as you would expect them to, and they've struggled this season to remain consistent, even if their underlying metrics have been very strong. So I think that one is priced, relatively correct. Give or take a little bit here, I think that Pittsburgh should be a small favorite, but that's not going to result in me making a bet on this one either way. Then we got the Blues and the Kraken. Not really much there here on this one. Maybe some small value on the Blues, who pulled off another upset on the second half of back-to-back, first beating the Calgary Flames from behind, then staving off a comeback from the Vancouver Canucks and winning in overtime on Wednesday with Joel Hofer, the backup, in goal. So would not necessarily look past betting on St. Louis if the price is right, but the plus 123 that's currently available at NorthStar Bets is not quite appetizing enough. The one that is appetizing enough for me is probably going to turn some heads because, man, they've been bad lately. The LA Kings. The LA Kings have really struggled, and here they are, Los Angeles, just 3 wins in their last 15 games dating back over the last month. The Avalanche, on the other hand, have just 4 losses in their last 15 games, so pretty much on the opposite side of the spectrum. But you got to think this is going to turn at some point for the Kings here. I mean, their expected goals percentage is nowhere near as good as it was earlier in the season. They look like one of the best teams in the league. They do not look like one of the best teams in the league right now. But they're still a good team, and the Kings have the second worst 5-on-5 shooting percentage in the NHL over the last month, which is just crazy because they rank second in shots per 60 minutes and ninth in expected goals per 60 minutes. Yet they're scoring at a rate similar to a team like the Chicago Blackhawks without Connor Bedard, right? So not a great look for the Kings. Clearly, I am an Avalanche hater. No, I think the Avalanche are a good team. I just think they're priced like, you know, the elite class in the NHL in a lot of games, and I don't necessarily think that's the case. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case here in this game. I know they've got some more bodies back with Artturi Lehkonen and Bowen Byram returning to the lineup. But yeah, the Kings, the offense has to change at some point here for LA. Has to start to turn the other way, given how much they've been producing, how many chances they've been producing on offense. I would not be surprised if this is the game where they do sort of break out on offense, because the Avs, as we know, I mean, they are a good team, but not necessarily the best goaltending. Georgiev, his save percentage is not great. So if the Kings can pressure the Avs and generate some shots, maybe the goals will follow. So I'm going to lock in a small play, half unit, on the LA Kings at plus 135. I think the Avalanche should be about a minus 129 favorite. So yeah, enough value there to take a chance on the Kings here. I think it's not a bad spot to try and buy low on this Kings team, who has struggled a lot recently, and I would like to think they're going to turn it around at some point. The numbers suggest they will. So I'm locking it in at half unit. So four small plays for Thursday and Friday. The money line bets are Boston minus 130. We've got the New Jersey Devils plus 140. We've got the Montreal Canadiens plus 130. And then for Friday, we've got the LA Kings plus 135. So three dogs and a short favorite, all half unit plays. If it's minus odds, negative odds, we're talking to win a half unit. If it is plus money, then I'm risking a half unit to win whatever the corresponding payout is. And then a couple of anytime goal scorer bets, both quarter unit plays. Cole Sillinger plus 380, looking for him to score a goal with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Joel Farabee of the Philadelphia Flyers, looking for him to stay hot and light the lamp for the Flyers as they take on the Red Wings, who I mentioned are really, really bad defensively. So looking for some of that to go my way tonight. Jake, anything to get to in the chat before we wrap this thing up?
Not too much. Jeff, who was here earlier in the week, asking about the home and away money line chart that you
Jeff,
produced a little while ago. He's just looking for an update on that, if
I
possible.
yeah, I meant to get back to that. Thanks for bringing that up again, Jeff. I actually remember I said that I would touch on it on Tuesday's show. I actually put it or Wednesday's show. I actually put it in Tuesday's article though, so it's a couple of days past due. But if you go back and check on my Twitter timeline, or just click the link that's in my bio on Twitter, it'll take you to my page on CanadaSportsBetting.ca. Scroll down a little bit, you'll see my most recent articles. And you can check out the NorthStar Bets weekly NHL betting insights article. That includes the home and away splits, the money splits for the entire league. I guess up to January 23rd or 22nd. So yeah, a few days behind, but it's pretty up to date. So hopefully that'll help you out. Sorry I didn't get to it on the show. I meant to let you know on the next day's show that hey, I did include that in the article if you wanted to check it out. So thanks for bringing it up. But if that's all to get to, I've got some other stuff to do today. I've got to make an appearance on the Action Network on Green Dot Daily, talk some NHL hockey, let all those Americans know that Canadians know it better. Which I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, of course you guys do. We don't care about hockey. Like, just joking. But yeah. So and by the way, I guess I'll touch on it. Talked about the Flyers missing the playoffs or making the playoffs on Wednesday's show. Of course, everybody knows Carter Hart away from the team indefinitely due to a personal leave of absence. And I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I guess we'll find out in the next couple of days. I wonder if we'll get that video of him like going into the police station like this after, but that'd be funny. But anyway, uh, he's out for the foreseeable future, and obviously some uncertainty as to what the Flyers are going to do with their goaltending situation, but. It does hurt their playoff chances, and I updated their chances after yesterday's show, and they were sitting at 49%. So they were up in the 60s before losing to the Lightning, obviously a team that they're kind of in the thick of things with in terms of the wild card, the playoff race. The Flyers are going to be competing with teams like the Lightning and the Red Wings, even though they're not in the same division. So these are big games coming up here. But yeah, Philadelphia, roughly a 50-50 shot to make the playoffs. So yeah, I guess my initial reaction to being asked whether I would bet on the Flyers to miss the playoffs was no, I wouldn't, because it was minus 115 at the time that question was asked. I guess I guess I still feel that way. I don't think I would. I don't think I would bet on the Flyers to miss the playoffs. I'd probably suggest attacking them, fading them down the stretch if you think that this Carter Hart situation is going to make a big difference to the Flyers. But thanks for joining the show. Really appreciate it as always. And yeah, drop a like on the video if you have not already. Drop a subscription to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you have not already. If you're here watching and you haven't subscribed yet, what the hell? Get on it. Do it. You don't want all 5'7 3/4" and 145 pounds of me mad at you. Okay, you don't want that. I'm telling you right now. So yeah, uh, God damn, you're like a foot taller than me, Jake.
I was just doing the math in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 5'8". Let's call it 5'8". 5'8", yeah. So not quite a foot, but yeah, my kid's gonna be taller than me soon. Fuck, he's already. Oh, I'm allowed to say the F word, okay? Sometimes I can say that. Yeah, whatever. I know sometimes like I go into my room and like I get up really early before like my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and I start, working on hockey stuff. Usually the first half hour is spent warming the car up and going to Tim Hortons. But yeah, I get up and then sometimes like I'll like my son will get up really early before my wife wakes up and he'll go into my room and take my spot in the bed after I've got up. And like, if I didn't know any better, I'd like think my wife had another man in the bed because this kid stretches. He's 8 years old and he pretty much stretches the length of a king size bed already. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm guessing he's gonna be my bodyguard soon enough. Still can't beat the old man in the wrestling match though. That's not gonna happen anytime soon. But anyway, thanks for joining the show. I'm doing the Cape Breton thing where you know, really long extend. Jake's like, "Okay, are we gonna end this thing?" And I'm just, dragging it on. But yeah, thanks. Good luck with your bets on Thursday and Friday. Of course, we'll be back on Friday. We'll be looking ahead to Saturday's NHL odds, and I hope you'll tune in. Good luck with your bets tonight. Oh, I'm gonna do one more thing before I sign up. Last night, the over 6 in Toronto and Winnipeg. Maybe I guess that's my worst bet this season. That was the worst bet. Let's call it what it is. The worst bet I made all season long. Just a small half unit play, but god damn, they didn't score a goal in regulation. 0-0 going into overtime. So yeah, you can't get much worse than that. Can only go up from here, I would think. So there's that. Anyway, take care. Good luck. See you later.